So I've had people tell me that I can no longer tow with this truck since I've lifted it, put 38's on it, and we're gonna test that claim. Since they said it, I guess I have to believe it, right? Now, I did not air up my tires. I decided, you know, let's just see what happens if I leave the tire pressure low. Like, so it's currently right now, I believe 49 out front, 46 in the rear, but it's probably fluctuated a little bit. So we have about 500 miles till we get home. This is a fuel economy run. This is a stability test. Let's see how this big boy does. So we're leaving Denver, and you guys will see here, we're stuck in traffic. So we had to hop off the interstate because there's a lot of traffic, and this Waze app is actually taking us this way because it says it's faster. So I listened to it. Now, we were in Denver for what, 2 days. Wifey got her brand new car, and yeah, we drove her car down. I towed the Corvette there because I figured I'd tow the Lambo back to Utah. But man, I can tell that there's a huge difference towing this versus the Corvette. I didn't think I would notice a difference, but when you have weight on the tongue, oh my goodness, like it's a big difference. But if it was like a gooseneck trailer, I don't really notice a big difference between like 3,000 pounds and like 6,000 pounds, because when we had our fifth wheel, I think we were maxed out around like 16,000, like the high end of like 15,000 to 16,000. And on the low end, when we were just, you know, just weekend warriors, I want to say we probably never got much more over like 11,000 pounds. And when I started filling up our freshwater tank, which was 81 gallons, you don't notice a big difference towing fifth wheel gooseneck. But when you tow a conventional style trailer, that extra weight, because I mean that car is probably maybe 1,500 pounds heavier, maybe, and it makes a big difference. So if we have a chance, I will take this over the scale at some point, just to kind of give you guys an idea of how heavy this trailer is. Now hopefully you guys can see my temperatures are pretty hot. We're just sitting in stop and go traffic. So if you didn't see it, 192 for the trans, which I've never seen it that high since I've had my Banks Transpan, and simply because we're just going at dragging speeds, it's not able to cool it. So we'll see what happens once we get on a pace again. But 196 for the engine oil temp, and then same for the coolant. We're at 8,000 feet, so we've gone up a little bit. And I did get a check engine light actually a little while ago. I just cleared it, but I have to do some research. It's a code for something that is very general. It's not like an actual code, so I'll have to ask my tuner if they've seen anyone else get those codes on their truck. So stay tuned for that. But overall, this is a type of trip I hate to take. I hate sitting in traffic. Like, this is brutal. I'll go ahead and get over here. What do you think, babe? Should we just go halfway and then finish off tomorrow?
I'm ready to get home.
Yeah, me too. We're those kind of people, even though we'll be on the road for another probably 8 hours, maybe 8.5, because we're gonna stop again for fuel and get food. But yeah, so far with this truck, I mean, this is a lot of weight, I would say, for this trailer, but it still has more than enough power to get it going. Yeah, we're at, what is that? That's 8%. This is 8% grade here.
See how high up we are?
Yeah, we're at 8,000 feet, 8,400 feet now, so we've gone up 400 more feet basically. Crazy. This is why I like to drive out there early morning or late at night, because you really deal with this. I mean, it's like this for like another hour probably, and we've already gone an hour and 10 minutes, and we've only gone 50 miles. Like, that is terrible. So you guys see there, yep, 50 miles. I forgot to reset it at the fuel station, by the way, so it's a little bit off by just like a 0.1 miles that you just saw. And we got stuck there, didn't we?
Yeah.
We got stuck at the fuel station because it was so tight. Had to back up like 3 times to try to get around the pump, but we still have 6 more minutes in this traffic, and then we're gonna hit traffic again. So yeah, this is gonna be one of those things where I don't know. I'm gonna take a break here. I'm already tired. I'm just exhausted because I don't use my adaptive cruise control. You know, let's try that real quickly. I'm just gonna set it at 55. Let's see how it does. Because I don't like using this because I feel like it just burns more fuel. That's just from my gist of it, but I could be wrong. I figured you guys want to see if this would fit, and yes, shockingly, this is wider than my Z06. So the Urus just barely fits in. Oh, you don't like when I say Urus, don't you?
Urus.
You want to say Urus.
Urus sounds odd. I don't know. Look how
Okay.
pretty the paint is.
I know, that looks so good. This is a $13,000 paint job, by the way, too.
Ooh, I gotta be careful.
Yeah, please do. And there's no PPF on this. You know, normally when you buy used cars, like normally the people spend all the money for you. You don't have to spend it, but they might have had a PPF on here and took it off because this looks really good for like 30,000 miles for sure. So again, like I said, I figured I'll show you guys really quickly. By the way, that back tire got a little loose, I guess, on the ride, so it's like really close to the wheel well, so we have to be really careful when we pull it out. Okay, we just left the Eisenhower tunnel. We were at 11,000 feet and now we're just going down a 7% grade. We're at 9,800 feet right now and we're not sitting in traffic anymore. We're going 60 miles an hour and I'm hoping we don't get stuck in traffic again because that would suck. Oh, I tell you, fatigue kicks in so much more so when you deal with that. Now, I'm going to do a video probably before this one discussing what happened when I switched over from 15W40 down to 5W40. It makes some changes to the towing experience, and I'll talk about that in another video. Maybe I've already posted, I'm not sure. But as far as stability goes, I'm at 53 PSI showing right now. It's 70 degrees at this height, but I think it's like 82 degrees once we get down to like 5,000, 4,000 feet or so. I have to tap the brakes here because I'm going a little too fast. I'm going 63, fifth gear is holding with the torque converter locked up. My temperatures are dropping rapidly. I'm at like 187 for engine coolant and oil, 180 for the transmission. So yeah, my fuel economy is gonna start going back up because we're just going down, down, down at this point. But yeah, overall, how do you feel about stability? Do you feel like it's uneasy?
No, feels good.
Yeah. I could have aired up my tires and maxed them out at 65, but I didn't do that because I wanted to see if it would feel uncomfortable. Now, towing with the Corvette in there, I didn't notice a difference. I felt like the truck was at this stock height. With this car being as heavy as it is in there, I do notice the weight back there with this extra height, you know, because now it's a little bit more top heavy. These tires don't have as much, you know, stiffness in the sidewall, so I can definitely tell there's a little bit of movement. But if I were to max out the tire pressure, I think it would fix a lot of those issues. Now, if I were towing 15,000 pounds, I would have never tested it this way. I would have went on ahead, put air in the tires at the very least. I'm not running any airbags, no temperance, nothing. This is all factory suspension in terms of like, for towing that is. Like, obviously I have the McGaughys lift on here, but I don't have any airbags or any helper springs back there basically. But yeah, so far so good. I don't feel like I have any stability issues. You guys will see some fuel economy here. I did do a run coming to Colorado, so I'll show that in this video. And then when we top off again, hopefully we won't hit any more traffic so you guys can get a more accurate reading. But yeah, we were sitting in traffic for probably a better part of an hour. Gosh, my ears. It's really bad up here. Oh my gosh. But so far so good. We're at 8,700 feet, so we're just going down, down, down. Temperatures are going down. I'm at 174 for the transmission. So again, that little scooper, it does work. I'm telling you guys, promo code down below. The Banks products make sense. The oil pan makes a difference too. Normally, when I was at 198, I would see like 207. That was a number I noticed a lot more so. But because of those fins and how they have them in the inside of the pan and on the outside, it does dissipate heat a lot better compared to the other one, and you drain all the oil out of it. So those are good for bulletproofing your truck, in my opinion. If you're gonna keep it long term, I feel like I have a catch can on my truck, and I still need to do a video on that. I feel as though when I didn't have anything done to my truck, when I pulled off my turbo inlet, there was a lot of oil in my inlet. And when I pull my catch can, I'm shocked at how much oil is catching now. Like, I feel as though, because it's possible dealers could be overfilling the pan by a little bit. It just depends on who you're getting. And I'm almost wondering if that's why you get more oil in the inlet, because the CCV is probably pumping out some of that oil if it does get overfilled, simply because there's like about a half a quart or so left in there. So this is something to consider. And if you go on Bank's website, they can explain it better. Because there is a little bit of oil left over, if they're putting 10 more quarts back on top of that, you could have a little bit more oil in that pan, and of course it could get pushed out because of the crankcase ventilation system. So yeah, overall, I don't notice a difference on stability. But again, if I was towing maybe a little bit more heavier trailer, it's very possible I would have to air up my tires more. So this truck is so loud. So starting off with the trip going to Denver, you guys see I purchased $159 worth of fuel, purchased 31 gallons, drove about 276.1 miles. Now the computer and the pump are very different simply because I have not recalibrated my speedometer. So I'm off about 4 miles, so it shows I'm going about 4 miles slower than what I'm actually doing. So I'm thinking I've got about 9.3. So just keep that in mind. Like, when you do the bigger tires, for the GM trucks, there's really no way to recalibrate these, so it's a learning curve on trying to figure out the math on this. But overall, I would say with the headwind that I had going down to Denver, this is pretty darn good. I love the sound of a free diesel. It is all free now. Woo! That is one healthy diesel. So we were just sitting in traffic again. That sounds so good, doesn't it, guys? Oh my gosh. Hopefully you guys can hear that whistle too. Yeah, I love my truck. I don't know if I can get rid of this one, babe. I don't know. It's gonna be a hard one to depart with, because I put a lot of sweat and blood in this one. And I mean blood meaning I got cut up from taking stuff out of this thing, so it sounds so good. But yeah, we should be good now. I think that's the last bit of traffic so far. And yeah, hopefully you guys aren't hearing all this wind noise, but I love opening the sunroof with that back glass, because you don't have to have the air conditioner on, so it gives you a nice breeze in here. And because it's only 71 degrees, that just makes it even nicer. You guys see right there, tire temperature, all good. I always air up my tires at night, just something to consider. And I need to do a video on the trailer brake too. Like, I keep forgetting to do that, and it's something that maybe you guys probably already know, but it's just good to like be reminded of, right? Because it's always good to be able to get up to speed, but stopping is more important than speed, in my opinion. And there's some things that I've learned along the way with the trailer brake that would be very, very helpful. So maybe I'll do a video on the way home, because now I remember to do it. Really quickly, I want you guys to see just how beautiful Colorado is. Absolutely stunning. And when it's like in the winter time, it's even better. I feel like all the snow on the mountains looks really beautiful. I've only come through here like once. Or no, we've come through here twice, I'm sorry. And every time it's been nighttime. So this time we actually get a chance to see it in all of its glory. Really beautiful. Alright, so I'm gonna speed up a little bit now. So now we're on the twisties. I wanted to show you guys just how the truck handles. You guys will probably be able to get an idea. So I'm actually going like about 3 miles an hour faster than what you're going to see here. But having the truck lifted doesn't really make a big difference, in my opinion, when This is a total of 4 inches, but when you get the McGaughys kit for ZR2 or AT4X, it's going to be only 2 inches because the truck's already lifted from the factory. But regardless of it, this truck still handles pretty dang good. I'm going 65 miles an hour. You guys can see out here all the twisties. I need to pass this semi truck. Now, one thing I'll mention too is because my trailer does have spread axles, that does help a good bit too. So just be mindful, like if you're looking at a travel trailer, it could handle worse with something like that. And I probably would consider using a weight distribution hitch or sway control with a truck this tall, just because, yeah, you don't want to have too much, you know, issues with sway when you're sitting this tall. But overall, I mean, I think it's great. I gotta stay here actually. I don't really notice any difference with how it handles. I mean, the 38's are gonna vary obviously depending on what manufacturer you get. I think that these tires from Netto are really, really good. They have no noise. Are these tires noisy?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. Like, I mean, they have, I think I put these on about 32,000 miles. I have 35,900 miles on my truck right now. So we put some miles on them and they're still essentially quiet in my opinion for a hybrid mud all-terrain tire. So again, I'm super happy with how this turned out. I didn't hurt my towing. Now I will say I would have to add at least timber ends because when I do tow, I have to level down my headlights. So that's something to consider. And I do notice too, because of the 38s, I see it, I do notice that my transmission does hunt a little bit. So from like 8th to 9th, 9th to 10th, it'll start to hunt depending on how fast I'm going. So just keep that in mind too. Like if you're not planning on re-gearing and you don't want that transmission to be busy, that's something to consider, because that's why my temperature, like right now it's showing 169 degrees. We've hit traffic yet again. I don't think I'll ever come this way again. Like this is terrible. Like there's just so much going on in 170 through Colorado. But yeah, overall I think that with what I've done to my truck, it's been really good. So next time we check in, I'm going to show you guys some fuel economy, and that will pretty much end this video. So you guys see there, 191 miles. Hope you guys can see that. 191 miles, okay. Let's go ahead and top off on last time. It's just been sitting here for a little bit. There it is, 22.322. Now, I only got 2 fill-ups simply because I did unhook and I didn't want to show you guys mileage without towing. So I just got these 2 here, and I only went 191 miles because I didn't want to fill up getting closer to Salt Lake, so I just pulled off a little bit sooner. But all in all, 8.8 was the computer, 8.56 was the pump. But I want to bet you guys I probably got over 9 miles a gallon, even with all that traffic, and we had a side wind. And I don't know what it's been. It has been super windy here out west. I don't know what it is. But here is the total for the cost in gallons, and then the average for the fuel economy right here. We purchased about $271 worth of fuel. Just about 467 miles is what I got, obviously. I did drive probably closer to like 1,000 miles. But regardless of, you guys see, you know, 9.2 is the computer, and then the pump was at 8.7. So I would still say that's pretty dang good for headwinds, side winds, and all the climbing and stop and go traffic that we hit.